Good morning, gentlemen. April the 15th here in central Illinois. Going to be a windy and sunny day. I just thought I'd show you quickly what I'm up to. Always moving forward. Better that than moving back. But I picked up the second gondola of these semi-scale standard gauge cars that I bought. And basically what I wanted to show you was the underneath side, the attention to detail. This is the other gondola, and this is the flat car. And as you can see, excuse me, whoever built this paid a lot of attention to detail, even the detail where normally you weren't going to see it. He made and mounted, fabricated an air tank. We've got truss rods. On this is what's interesting. Any of you guys that have ever been out to some one gauge sites where they sell detail products for cars, well, this guy put the I'm gonna get my shadow out of there. Those are nut and washers. Those are white metal castings. That's all they are. He either pinned them or he glued them. I'm not sure which, but he did a lot of work on this thing, a lot of good work, and the pockets, all that, really, really well done. But the real kicker here are the arch bar trucks. Like I said, I bought this thing for the whole idea of fabricating these. These are beyond my skill grade. I could barely afford to buy a cup of coffee with what it'd take to make these. But these are really, really well done. And done to fit the 200 series wheels and axles. As you can see, goes right on through there. It's the sprung trucks, and I actually think that they work. I'm not going to try them and excuse me, and apply pressure to them to see if they do, because I really don't care. To me, it's a waste of time to make sprung trucks on a toy train, but whatever. But the workmanship on this is just absolutely fantastic. Now, normally, I do not gravitate towards this kind of stuff because I'm more interested in what he did here. This is template, more template, less scale, and more template, which is what I like. But I absolutely, positively, after I got these, couldn't take the chance of not buying the other gondola to go along with it. Really, really well done. Glad to have it in the collection. The other thing that we're working on here, I picked this up a number of years ago. This is it was made for one gauge. It had modified American Flyer trucks on it. And it is, I don't know if you can see the work or not. That's all riveted together. Each one of those are drilled through. That is all individual pieces. I have no idea how they cut out that door. It slides, it works. On the back side, you've got a little, as the cattle cars do, you had a little opening there to allow the air to go through. Originally, and I have no idea, I got this without the roof, and it had, excuse me, doggone it, it had only one set of trucks. I'm missing a bolster from the other end, so I'll have to manufacture it. It is off the top of a 200 series truck. But when I got this car, it had a hip roof. I mean, if you don't know what a hip roof is, it's basically how the end of your house will look if you got a ranch style, pointed at the very top. So what I did was, what I'm working at is giving it a gentle curve. I've filed a lot of it down, so that this Mike's Train House roof, which the length is absolutely perfect, will sit down on top of this. And what I'll probably do is put little bolts through there. See if I can get it off. Probably not. Yeah, here we go. That's how we'll, as you can see, we're just rounding that top off so that will fit down on top of it. this is a perfect fit. There's just a little bit of overhang, which I really like. So if I can get a bolster made for it, and I get the roof on, then comes the job of taking this thing apart, as much of it as I possibly can, to put it in rust remover that's got a light film of rust, to clean it up and to spray paint it. This thing is really heavy, and I don't know if you can see the screws in the bottom there or not, but they spent a huge amount of time putting this thing together and bolting it and riveting it together. It's unbelievable, really. The other thing is, I'm getting my second power truck done. I've got this already set up. See if I can spin it with one hand. Yeah. Got the gear mesh on this real good. In fact, I'm well pleased with it. And what I did was I set it up just like you see it right here. That's why I got the registration line, so I can get it as close as possible. I set the gear mesh up, and I super glued it to the frame. I then took the wheel off, because all it is I just use an axle collet. Undo it, pull that out, take it over to the drill, center it on the drill, and then drill through with a 42 or 43, and then tap it. And I've got great mesh. The other thing that I'll do now, what I'll work on, initially, you'll notice this is drilled on both sides. Well, initially, the big gear, which was what I was going to use. Well, the bigger the gear, of course, the farther out it sits from the pinion. And all this stuff is stock Lionel, the gears, the wheels. The back of the gear on that wheel is a 62 tooth. And I was going to build another truck, but the gear ratio with the big gear was different, of course, than the gear ratio with the smaller gear. So I really didn't want to put in a different ratio motor. One would be pushing and one would be pulling. So I went back to the smaller gear, which is what the original truck has got on the power dump. So we'll get that. Then that will, in effect, if I can get this right, this frame will be slotted. It'll fit just like this. Now that, of course, will drop. That will drop down, and there will be a slot here so that we'll ride in that. This here, this is just a template. This is how the motor's going to look. What I'll do is, I'll slide this template up underneath there, I'll mark it, then I'll drill it and cut everything out. Now, I make that motor like they do in the slot cars. I will slot that so that I can move that motor forwards or backwards and get the gear mesh just right. Here's the motor that I'll use. I'll have to pull the pinion on it. This is a Lionel can motor. That's what I've got underneath the power dump, and that's what I've got under the little trolley that I made. These things work really well. I'll have to put a rectifier on it and convert it to, so it will run on AC. These are slot car pinions. This is a 12 tooth, 42 pitch, 2 millimeter. So I have I've got a gear puller. I'll pull this one off. This is not a 42 pitch. This is a different pitch. I don't know what it is. I forget now. But I'll put the 42 pitch on, which is what the main gears are. Those are 42 pitch. And once I get these cut out, then I will elongate them if I have to, so that I can turn that pinion in or out of that gear. Now, I went out to a slot car page, and they were talking about gear mesh, and it makes sense for electric trains. If you take the two gears and you bottom the tooth in the opposing gear, it's going to be too tight. If you pull it far enough away that only the tips touch, you're going to be too loose. So what I shoot for is is when I put it together that the tooth is at least halfway, a little over halfway into the other tooth. Makes it run smooth. It's a whole lot quieter. You don't have to worry about slippage. You don't have to worry about it binding up. Now, I have tested about 4 different gears on this. We got a whole bunch of these things. And I choose the one that rides the best. You will take some, put it on there, and they'll have a tight spot. Tight spots can be taken care of. If you mark where the tight spot is, pull the gear off and lightly dress it. I have a triangular Julius file, and I lightly dress it until I can put it down there and it runs smooth. The other thing that you can do if things are only minor, I hook my cordless drill to this, oil everything up, and turn it on as hard as she'll run to break those gears in. I've even got a thing that I'll drop this over the back of a 200 series truck and run it around and around the track just to break that gearing in. But it works good using the cordless drill. It does a great job. So that's where we're at. I just wanted to share with you the detail on those handmade cars. Really, really awesome. And I'm looking forward to getting this. Actually, if I just get off my butt and get it done, this took me about 2 hours to get this fabricated yesterday. I just got tired of messing with it, and I didn't want to cut the slots and then have to do a little filing to get the motor set up on it. And like I say, I've got to pull the pinion on this and replace it, which is no problem. You just got to be careful, because when you're pressing the new pinion on, you've got to make sure that the back part of this shaft is on a solid surface, or you'll bend it. So I've pulled and restaked 2 of them and have had good luck. Oh, by the way, when you're doing that, when you're getting ready to push that pinion on there, have everything clean and put a spot of oil. It helps it slide down just a little bit, better than doing it raw. So that's what we're up to right now. You guys have a good week, and we will talk with you later. Toodaloo.